How about Brandon Watkins? You talked about.
There you go. See how this works?
I mean, what have you seen from him since he did have that success? I know you wanted to see something after he didn't show the effort and all that in practice. Where has he been since he, was the most outstanding player and all that?
He's getting better and better. I mean, it's Brandon's a work in progress. But he brings some things that the other guys don't bring, and if Brandon continues to do what he's doing now and continues to progress, then I would envision Brandon seeing a whole lot more playing time. But it's like everybody else, you can't do it one day and not do it the next day. I think the good thing has been that by and large we have had the core of those guys have pretty much come in every day and tried to get better. It's not they don't try to get better, it's just that when you come in with some enthusiasm and you come in with the idea that you want to be there and you really want to work at it, you're going to get better. But that's not Brandon, that's the whole bunch of them.
What does this game bring and mean? I mean, it's a Big Ten team. It's a team I think you've only beaten once in the time you played them.
Obviously not enough to get an article in the paper today. It's not be that big a game. I thought, Bob, that we needed to get into that area, with changing leagues and the whole thing. And I know we did it before, but we did it before to try to help with Ohio kids and Indiana kids, because I think that's an area that we, because of my background there in Ohio and obviously Cincinnati being right on the Indiana border, that we could get into there a little bit. It's kind of like I've talked about for a long time. I try to schedule games, non-conference games that are going to be national television games, which this has always been, but into an area where we can get in and recruit as well. We've tried to recruit Western Ohio, and we've been close with some kids. Didn't get them, but we've been close, and obviously we got Aaron out of Indianapolis, and I think one of the things that got his attention was that we did play Purdue. His dad's a Purdue graduate. So that's kind of what I think it brings. It gets us into that recruiting market.
What does it do for you as far as team development? You're closing in on league play now.
Well, they're obviously they're a good team. They're very well coached. They have historically been one of the better defensive teams, I think, in the Big Ten. I think Matt's kind of carried on the Gene Keady tradition. He was, I don't know for sure, but I think he was kind of Gene's hand-picked successor. It's my brother. You mind if I take?
Someplace 6 different lineups in the last 6 games. Is that right? 8 different guys who started for him, kind of trying to figure things out a little bit. Young team too.
John, I don't know. They've got a lot of guys back from a year ago, and I know he really likes his freshman class. I have no idea.
Bring a 7-footer off the bench.
Well, he started all last year, so. I don't know enough about their team to answer that.
Coach, do you like the schedule the way it says it now, or would you prefer it, where it's Wednesday, Saturday? Because you 3 games in 20 days or whatever. Yeah,
well, I think it's hard once you get playing every 2 or 3 days to have a whole week, but we had to have it because of finals. Our guys came back from the Marshall game and finished finals, so and it is what it is. You try to, I've tried to stay away from playing games in Morgantown during the break when the students aren't here as much as I could. That's why we're going to Charleston to play William and Mary, because you don't have anybody here, you know. It's but you think the Purdue game, you'd have some fans, you'd think.
You mentioned Aaron. In recruiting, do you take a Dean Smith approach at times to we'll play a game in your home state or as close as we can?
We try, yeah, we do try. Yeah, we've always done that. But I mean, honestly, this was scheduled before Aaron got here, obviously. But it was more trying to get into that area to recruit.
What Terry's been doing lately, where is he now compared to the beginning of the year? I mean, health-wise, is he back to the Terry that you want, or can he continue to progress?
Boy, I think so. Yeah, I think he'll continue to progress. I mean, it still bothers him a little bit, but he's done a good job of rehabbing it, and you know, he ices before and after, and all the things that you're supposed to do. He just missed some stuff, you know. He just he's like, if you take Terry and Jawan and Aaron. You know, he's still probably behind those guys in terms of knowing everything that we put in, because you can't stand on the sidelines and learn it. And he was over there for a good while, but he's getting better. Obviously, he's playing better, and I'm starting to make shots again.
If he develops into a consistent third scorer, does that change what you want to do down low? I mean, I know you've been trying to develop the post presence, but if you get a third scorer out on the perimeter, does that change any of that?
No, I mean, I think we still have to be able to score it close. You know, when you look at, and everybody, like I think Iowa State's a great example of people who shoot threes extremely well. What I think people kind of miss is George Niang's really good in the post. He's really good in the post. Now, he can step out and shoot it, but he's really good in the post. And he gets a lot of one-on-one coverage down there because they spread you so much. But I think without him in the post, that perimeter stuff's not near as good. So I think we have to continue to try to develop somebody down there.
Along those lines, Devin didn't appear to have the best night ever at Marshall. Does he come along a little bit and recognizing when guys are collapsing in on?
Honestly, I don't think Devin's ever really been a back to the basket guy. I mean, he's always been a great rebounder, but I don't know that he's been a guy that they didn't throw the ball to him in Montverde. He was more stepped out and shot 12, 15 footers, and they had the 6'11" guy that went to Kentucky that really played in the post. And I don't think he did it that much at Withrow, really. He's always kind of gravitated that way. So I think it's really been a learning process for him. And I just don't know where else we go. I don't know who else we, obviously Kevin Irving's not a back to the basket guy, and Nate's not a back to the basket guy. The only other guy's Brandon.
What have you seen out of Nate?
It seems like every time Nate kind of gets going, he sprains his ankle. I think he sprained his ankle 3 or 4 times. I think Nate's your typical freshman, just like the rest of them. He's had some really, really good days, and he's had some days not very good. But that's what you get with freshmen. He's had days where he's really shot the ball well, and he's had days where he hasn't shot it very well. I think the challenge is to get to Nate to be able to do more things than just shoot. To be able to score different ways. He's not a guy right now to go in and put anybody on his back and score it in the post. And I think he could be, if you play him at the 3, he may end up being 6'10". That's a pretty good size 3-man. But it doesn't do you any good if you can't take a smaller guy and put you on your back. So there's things that we got to spend a lot of time with Nate with, but we can't do it now. We'll have to do that in the spring and the fall.